Hello and welcome to another episode of Cascadia Mountain Weather. My name is Kyle McCrone. I'm here with Wyatt Mullen. It's Thursday, December 26th, and we just had a really powerful storm arrive, and more storms are going to keep coming. So we're going to first go over what's happened so far and what we can expect going forward. So in the last 72 hours, we've seen a lot of snow. You can see that the dark colored areas in the central Cascades and the southern Cascades are 3 to 4 feet. And Baker's also gotten a lot. The snow level has generally been somewhere between 2,500 and maybe 4,000 feet, depending on whether you're west of the crest and just throughout the storm. There's been a lot of variance. One thing to notice here is that the east side has actually done quite well. So a lot of times with a powerful atmospheric river like this, you'll see very heavy rain shadowing. But this storm actually first kind of crept up from the south, and the back part of the rotation around that low pressure system was able to bring some moisture to the east side. So you can see areas like, the Waterville Plateau east of Wenatchee got 6 to 8 inches, which is a lot of snow for that area. And the Wenatchee Mountains up at Mission Bridge, got 1 to 2 feet. That's a huge dump for a relatively dry area. So that's one of the good things about this storm. The snowfall depth has changed a lot, and there's just been a ton of water added to the snowpack because there's also been a lot of rain in the last week. So Baker went from 72 to 90 inches, even though they received 42 inches of snow, and that's because they've gotten quite a bit of rain, 36 inches in the last 72 hours. Notice that Paradise cracked the 100-inch mark. The southern Cascades have been getting favored, I feel like, in a lot of these storms. I mean, Crystal is up to a 60-inch base, which is a lot for a relatively drier spot. Snoqualmie Pass got a lot of mix of rain and snow, but still increased its base depth, same as Stevens. So overall, like definitely increasing the snow water equivalent at a lot of places, with variable precipitation. So now we'll take a quick look at what happened at Alpental versus Snoqualmie Pass. And on Wednesday, freezing levels dipped pretty low, probably closer to 2,000 feet or so. And during the day, we started to see snowfall. But then throughout the night, it into Thursday, and especially Thursday morning, when the precip really ramped up. I mean, it was strong through that whole period. It started to warm up. And notice that the wind direction switched from southeast to west southwest. And that really was at the same time as the temperature rising. And that's because we started to have that warmer Pacific air influence things. And thus the pass switched to rain briefly in the middle of the day today as it went up to about 33 degrees at the base of Alpental. So you can see the snow accumulations kind of flatlined at that point.
Well, so we can now look at like what's coming up this upcoming weekend. So I bring this up just go give like the broadest overview of the next couple days to even maybe out a week, and then we'll dig a little bit deeper into the specific details. So this is looking overnight tonight into Friday, and we can see that there's another storm that's going to be coming in, but it's going to be coming in south. Our last storm today came into the north, just kind of across the North Washington coast. This one's going to be coming further south and bringing most of the precipitation to the southern portion of the area. And then as we move through into Friday night into like early Saturday morning, that's when we're going to see another storm come in and precipitation spread throughout the entire area, both north and south. And that will continue with us throughout Saturday. So this, or throughout kind of Saturday morning, this is 10 a.m. Saturday. Then we have another storm moving into the south again and gradually kind of moving up. This is 10 a.m. Sunday. So gradually moving up to the north during the day Sunday. But if you're in the north on later Sunday, you might actually stay dry until the afternoon to evening hours. And then we will dry out a little bit going through early next week. So this is kind of Monday, Tuesday, and then it does look like we might end up seeing an atmospheric river kind of middle to end of next week. So this is Wednesday evening, and you can see, watch kind of this shows where the blue shows the snow, the green shows the rain, and you can see that snow line eroding as we go into Thursday and Friday, and even rain making it all the way into the interior of BC, which is pretty rare this time of year. It only really happens with atmospheric rivers. You can see that again with our snow level forecast over the next couple of days or the next week. We're going to be mostly hovering in kind of that anywhere from 3 to maybe 5,000 foot range for the next couple days, especially this weekend. But as we move later in the day on Sunday into Monday, we'll actually drop down closer to maybe 2 or 3,000 feet. And then we'll stay there for early next week before bumping up rapidly with that possible atmospheric river, which is still pretty far out. So it's unsure whether that will happen exactly. We're going to now look at the precipitation for this weekend. So this is looking at 4 p.m. on Thursday. And you can see that there's a couple showers around, especially to the north, and it starts out dry Friday morning. And then this is that southerly storm track that's going to be mostly affecting kind of the southern sections of the Cascades. This is actually one of the reasons, and we'll get to this later, that NWAC has a high avalanche forecast down in the southern Cascades, just because they're going to keep seeing kind of some snow and winds. But the northern Cascades should stay a little bit drier. Then, as we get into Friday night, that's when precip moves throughout the whole area. Showers moving through most of Saturday, and you probably won't see the sun much of Saturday, but then overnight Saturday into Sunday, that's when we dry out, and then you can see this precip shield kind of shifting north as we get later in the day on Sunday. If we look at accumulated precipitation, so this is 24 hours. Once again, you can see that southerly kind of focused storm on early overnight Thursday into Friday, and then that more northerly focused storm kind of overnight Friday into Saturday, and then drying out as we move into kind of Saturday, Sunday, before spreading out and getting later into the week. I just wanted to show this kind of 24-hour once again, kind of highlighting how this kind of the precipitation will peak this weekend in that Friday night into early Saturday timeframe. In terms of snowfall, so this is a running 24-hour total, starting 10 a.m. this morning to 10 a.m. on Friday. And as we move forward into this is now 10 a.m. Saturday, you can see that really that focus of snow, probably about 3 to 4,000 feet and above, and pretty decent amounts in the or on the order of maybe 12, 15, 18, maybe even 2 feet in some areas, maybe even a bit more actually in some areas, which is pretty good. It's nice to see us actually getting some snow in that kind of 3 to 4,000 foot level. And then that's kind of drying out as we go into Sunday before the next storm comes in on Monday. Another kind of highlighting our snow. So this is looking from 4 p.m. Thursday through 4 p.m. Friday. And then you can see that it really does pick up kind of that 4 p.m. Friday through 4 p.m. Saturday. Like I said, in kind of that 2 foot level. And then the snow levels will bump up a little bit before kind of crashing back down to about 2,000 feet as we get later in the day on Sunday. And this is looking at total accumulated snow, but this includes some of the stuff that fell today as well. So in that like 3 foot level. Just wanted to highlight this, how this is Snoqualmie Pass at the 3,000 foot level from the National Weather Service, showing how there is the chance of rain on almost every day up until about Sunday when we see that snow level drop to about 2,000 feet, especially Sunday night. So just be aware of that if you're starting lower elevation this weekend. And then wanted to look at just the chance of seeing any breaks in the clouds. So this is for going into Friday, so 10 a.m. Friday. I think that there might see some sun breaks. Saturday is going to be overall a pretty cloudy day. And then Sunday, it looks like we'll start out with some high clouds above the area. So you might actually have a chance for some pretty good visibility early in that day before the clouds move in later in the afternoon on Sunday.
So right now we have avalanche forecasts of considerable or high over most areas in the Cascades. The only areas that are high are down and around Mount Hood and kind of Rainier area. And that's because on Friday, as Wyatt talked about, there's more precipitation falling in the southern Cascades. And if you look at it, the only elevation band that is high is above 6,500 feet, which basically means just the volcanoes, because those areas are receiving the most amount of fresh snow. And throughout this whole storm cycle, we've definitely seen variable avalanche dangers depending on the elevation band. So it's important to take a closer look at that and think about what elevation bands you're in. The lower elevations that aren't getting as much fresh snow, there's generally less avalanche danger. So this is the long term for the next 10 days. And obviously, we could see something different, but it's trending towards a lot of precipitation. Some areas up over 10 inches of precipitation, and even the Eastern Cascades getting a decent amount. So we seem to be kind of stuck in this pretty wet and somewhat warm weather pattern. So again, the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook is a little bit above average and precipitation is above. And currently we don't see any signs of that changing in the future, but at some point it probably will. So thanks everyone for watching. We hope you have a great weekend and enjoy the snow.